church teaches that the government has a large role in protecting the needs of the poor. Do you disagree with the Catholic Church on that?
No, I actually, if you look at my record, I've probably been active than really anybody else when I was in the Senate in dealing with poverty issues. I mentioned I was the author of welfare reform. I worked on all sorts of economic proposals to try to incentivize work in poor areas of the country. Along with guys like Jack Kemp and when he worked under Ronald Reagan. I believe that the federal government can play a role, but it has historically, since the Great Society, played a destructive role as well as a constructive role. The destructive role is the destruction that government dependency programs have on the most important thing to help people in poverty. What's the most important thing if you look at the important things that are necessary to make sure that people are not in poverty, and what the government does with respect to all of those three things? There's three things. There was a Brookings Institute study done in 2009, and they said that if you do these three things, you're almost guaranteed never to be in poverty. Three things. What are the three things? Number one, work. I had someone up here. Work. Number two, graduate from high school. Not get a college degree, graduate from high school. Number three, if you're a man, get married. If you're a woman, get married before you have children. If you do those three things, right? Let me tell you what the numbers are, because they're stunning. If you do those three things, the chance of you being in poverty at some time in your life is 2%. The chance that you will earn above the median income in America, 77%. If you don't do just one of those three things, the chance of being above the median income in America, 4%. The chance of being in poverty at some time in your life, 74%. Ladies and gentlemen, we know how to help the poor. We need to have stable families. We need to have an education system that focuses in on the needs of every child in America, not the education system, but every child in America. As I was saying earlier today, the President of the United States came out and said, under my administration, every child should go to college. What elitist snobbery out of this man. We have 7 children. I would be honored if my son wanted to go and be the best darn auto mechanic in the country. That's fine with me. That's great. Work is good. Work is good no matter what the work is, if you do it as well as you can. And if you're rewarded for that work. That's what we're talking about here, not this elitist view of what Barack Obama thinks is best for all of you. Promote work. Promote families and marriage. And of course, make sure that we have this system that takes care of every child. One final point on promoting marriage in this administration. I was on the radio show just a week or so ago with Bill Bennett. Bill Bennett, the Book of Virtues, former Secretary of Education. And his wife is named Elaine Bennett. And she runs a program called Best Friends. Best Friends is a program that helps at-risk teens to avoid getting pregnant. Obviously women. To avoid getting pregnant. The Obama administration, the government, since I put in place a program that allowed programs like that to get federal dollars, the Obama administration has said 2 things to them as to how they have to run their program now. Number 1, you can't teach abstinence as a preferable way of avoiding pregnancies. You can talk about it, but you can't prefer it. You can't emphasize it. It has to be neutral. Number 2, you can't advocate for marriage. You have to treat marriage as one of many different lifestyles that is equally valid. You have a president of the United States that's going out and telling organizations to do things that they know, that we know is wrong, that we know will result in more at-risk behavior and more at-risk economic consequences. And yet, they are the ones who accuse many of us that we're imposing our morality on them. What's that? Is that not imposing their morality on them? Right?
How are you going to create these jobs?